These are 10 items that can get you stopped, fined, or even banned at the airport. Most travelers assume they know the rules, but every year thousands of items get confiscated because of small misunderstandings that could have been avoided. In 2024 alone, TSA screened over 904 million passengers across the United States, and officers intercepted nearly 6,700 firearms, with 94% of them fully loaded. That does not include the countless knives, oversized liquids, self-defense tools, and other prohibited items that were surrendered at checkpoints every single day. What makes this even more expensive is that certain violations come with civil penalties of up to $17,000 per item, plus the potential loss of TSA PreCheck status for 5 years or more. The difference between a smooth screening experience and a missed flight often comes down to knowing exactly what TSA will not allow through security. Here is what you need to know before you pack your bags. The first item on this list catches more travelers off guard than almost anything else. Oversized liquids, gels, and aerosols remain the single most common reason people are stopped at airport security. The rule has been in place since 2006, yet millions of travelers still violate it every year. The regulation is called the 311 rule, and the math is simple. Every liquid container in your carry-on must be 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters or smaller. All containers must fit inside one clear quart-sized bag, and each passenger is limited to one of those bags. The issue is that many items people do not think of as liquids are classified as liquids by TSA. Toothpaste counts as a gel. Mascara is treated as a liquid because it can spill or ooze. Hummus, yogurt, peanut butter, and ranch dressing are all considered spreadable liquids. Even partially filled containers above 3.4 ounces get confiscated because TSA checks the container size, not the amount of liquid inside. Many travelers grab their favorite shampoo bottle without checking the label and end up surrendering a $20 product at the checkpoint. There are exceptions to this rule for medically necessary liquids like prescription medications, baby formula, and breast milk, but those items must be declared to officers for separate screening. Everything else follows the same limit. The second item that TSA confiscates immediately is any knife, including pocket knives that fit easily in a palm. This rule surprises travelers who consider their folding blade a harmless everyday tool rather than a security risk. The regulation is absolute. There is no permitted size of knife in carry-on baggage. Whether the blade is 2 inches long or 6 inches long, whether it folds into the handle or stays fixed, the result is the same. TSA will remove it from your bag. The only exceptions are blunt butter knives or plastic cutlery, which pose no realistic threat. Multi-tools with knives of any length are also prohibited from carry-ons. If the multi-tool contains only scissors shorter than 4 inches and no blades, it may pass through, but many popular brands include small knife components that trigger automatic confiscation. Knives can be packed in checked luggage, as long as they are sheathed or wrapped securely to prevent injury to baggage handlers. But if that knife is in a carry-on bag or in your pocket when you reach the checkpoint, it will be surrendered on the spot. Every year, TSA officers find knives hidden inside belt buckles, comb handles, and even children's toys. Some travelers genuinely forget they have them. Others assume small blades are no big deal. Either way, the outcome is identical. The third category that TSA will confiscate immediately includes all firearms and firearm components, no matter the circumstances. Even if you have a valid concealed carry permit, even if the firearm is unloaded, even if you live in a state with constitutional carry laws, bringing a firearm to the security checkpoint is prohibited. In 2024, TSA intercepted nearly 6,700 firearms at airport checkpoints across the United States, and roughly 94% of those firearms were fully loaded. Firearms were detected at 277 airports nationwide, an average of more than 18 per day. The most common explanation travelers give is that they forgot the gun was in their bag. TSA calls this excuse careless and irresponsible. Responsible gun owners know where their firearm is at all times. When a firearm is detected at a checkpoint, screening stops immediately. Officers contact local law enforcement, who remove the individual and the weapon from the checkpoint area. Depending on local and state laws, the passenger may be arrested or cited. TSA then issues a separate civil penalty, which can reach up to $15,000 for a single violation. Repeat offenders face even steeper fines and permanent revocation of TSA PreCheck eligibility. Travelers with proper permits can still fly with firearms, but the weapon must be unloaded, locked in a hard-sided case, and declared to the airline at the check-in counter. It must be transported in checked baggage, not carried through security. The fourth item that TSA confiscates is something most travelers do not expect to cause problems: power banks and spare lithium batteries. These devices power everyday gadgets like phones, laptops, cameras, and portable chargers, but they also present a serious fire hazard in aircraft cargo holds. The rule changed in early 2025 and is now strictly enforced. Spare lithium-ion batteries, including power banks and cell phone charging cases, cannot be packed in checked luggage under any circumstances. They must be carried in carry-on bags where the flight crew can respond to any overheating incident. The fire risk is real. In January 2025, an Air flight in South Korea was engulfed in flames just before takeoff, an incident that prompted stricter enforcement worldwide. Lithium batteries can undergo thermal runaway if damaged, short-circuited, or exposed to extreme pressure, producing fires that are extremely difficult to extinguish. Batteries under 100 watt-hours are allowed in carry-ons without restriction, but passengers may carry only 2 larger spare batteries between 101 and 160 watt-hours, and those require airline approval. Smart luggage with non-removable lithium batteries is also at risk. If the battery cannot be removed from the suitcase, the entire bag may be confiscated. Airlines are enforcing this more strictly than ever, with some requiring photo proof that your battery can be removed without tools. The fifth item TSA will confiscate immediately is any self-defense spray, including pepper spray and mace. These products are legal for personal protection in all 50 states, but they are not permitted in carry-on luggage under any circumstances. The regulation is straightforward but catches many travelers off guard, especially those who keep a small canister attached to their keychain. Pepper spray and similar defensive sprays are classified as potential weapons that could incapacitate passengers and crew during flight. TSA prohibits them from the cabin without exception. However, there is a limited allowance for checked baggage. Passengers may pack 1 container of self-defense spray up to 4 ounces in checked luggage, provided the spray contains no more than 2% tear gas by mass and includes a safety mechanism to prevent accidental discharge. Self-defense sprays with higher concentrations of tear gas or without safety caps are banned entirely. Some airlines go further and prohibit all self-defense sprays, regardless of size or safety features. United Airlines and Southwest Airlines, for example, do not allow any pepper spray in checked baggage. Before assuming your spray can travel, check with your specific carrier. If you arrive at the checkpoint with pepper spray in your carry-on, the item will be confiscated immediately. The sixth category involves electronic cigarettes and vaping devices, which follow specific rules that many travelers misunderstand. Vapes are allowed on airplanes, but only in carry-on luggage or on your person. Placing any vape or e-cigarette in checked baggage is prohibited because the lithium-ion batteries inside pose a fire risk in the cargo hold. TSA and the Federal Aviation Administration require passengers to take effective measures to prevent accidental activation of the heating element during transport. This typically means removing cartridges, turning off the device, and securing it inside a case or protective sleeve. Spare batteries must also remain in carry-on bags and should be stored in plastic cases to prevent short circuits. Vape liquids follow the same 3E11 rule as other liquids, meaning each container must be 3.4 ounces or smaller and placed inside your quart-sized bag. Larger bottles must be packed in checked luggage, provided they do not contain batteries or pressurized components. It is illegal to use or charge vapes during any commercial flight, and violations can result in federal fines of several $1,000s. Vapes containing THC or cannabis-derived substances are prohibited regardless of state law, and passengers found carrying such product may be detained and referred to law enforcement. The seventh item that will be confiscated is any type of explosive or flammable material, including fireworks, firecrackers, and even small novelty poppers. These items are banned in both carry-on and checked baggage year-round, not just during holidays. The restriction covers sparklers, flares, gunpowder, blasting caps, and any device designed to produce a loud report or visible explosion. Even items marketed as safe for children are prohibited. TSA X-ray machines are designed to detect the density and composition of suspicious materials, and holiday novelties often trigger alarms. Pressurized containers also fall under this category. Spray paint, bear repellent, and large aerosol canisters are banned. Propane tanks, CO2 cartridges, and butane lighters with fuel are not permitted in the cargo hold. Passengers may carry one disposable lighter or an approved Zippo-style lighter without fuel in their carry-on, but spare fuel cartridges are prohibited entirely. In early 2026, TSA added cordless hair styling tools that use gas or butane cartridges to the prohibited list for checked luggage. These devices, popular among travelers for their portability, present the same fire risk as other fuel-containing items. One cordless butane hair tool may be carried on board if secured in a safety case, but spare cartridges are banned in all luggage. The eighth category that triggers immediate confiscation is sports equipment and large, blunt objects capable of being used as weapons. This includes baseball bats, golf clubs, hockey sticks, pool cues, ski poles, lacrosse sticks, and similar items that could cause physical harm in an enclosed cabin. The logic is simple. Any object heavy enough or long enough to swing as a weapon is not permitted in the passenger compartment. Travelers who want to bring sports equipment must pack it in checked luggage, where size and weight restrictions apply depending on the airline. Golf clubs, for example, are allowed in checked bags but count as luggage and may incur additional fees. Bats and sticks must be secured to prevent damage during transit. Some travelers assume smaller sporting goods will pass. Tent stakes, for instance, are considered potential weapons by TSA and may be confiscated depending on their design. Certain stove components and ultra-light camping gear have also been flagged during screening. If you are traveling with recreational equipment, verify TSA guidelines for each item before arriving at the airport. The ninth item that causes problems at security involves scissors and sharp grooming tools, a category with specific size thresholds that many travelers do not know. Scissors are allowed in carry-on baggage only if the blades measure less than 4 inches from the pivot point to the tip. Anything longer must go in checked luggage. This rule applies to craft scissors, sewing scissors, grooming scissors, and kitchen shears. Even professional hairstylists traveling with their tools need to measure carefully before packing. Razor blades are similarly restricted. Disposable razors and safety cartridges with blades enclosed are permitted in carry-ons, but loose razor blades and box cutters are banned. Nail clippers are allowed. Nail files are allowed. Metal scissors under 4 inches are allowed, but tweezers with sharpened tips or any tool designed for cutting that exceeds the threshold will be removed. What surprises travelers is how often these items are packed unintentionally. A forgotten sewing kit at the bottom of a bag, a pair of large kitchen scissors slipped inside a carry-on after a holiday trip, or a craft knife left in a pencil case can all cause delays. TSA officers will pull the back for manual inspection and give the traveler a choice between surrendering the item or returning to check it with the airline. The 10th and final item that TSA confiscates immediately is any type of stun gun, taser, or electroshock weapon. These devices are completely prohibited from carry-on baggage, no exceptions. Their ability to incapacitate a person makes them a serious threat to flight safety, and they fall under the same category as firearms in terms of passenger risk. Tasers and stun guns may be packed in checked luggage, but only under strict conditions. The device must be transported in a manner that renders it inoperable from accidental discharge. This typically means removing all batteries and storing them separately. The batteries themselves must be packed in your carry-on, not in the same checked bag as the device. Some travelers carry disguised stun devices, such as stun guns built into flashlights or lipstick cases. TSA officers are trained to identify these items through X-ray screening, and discovery leads to immediate confiscation. Attempting to conceal a prohibited weapon can result in criminal referral and elevated fines. Self-defense keychains with metal points, Kubatans, and brass knuckles are also banned from carry-on bags. Personal alarm devices that emit loud sounds are permitted as non-violent alternatives, and some travelers opt for tactical flashlights without sharp edges. If personal protection is a priority, research TSA-approved alternatives before flying. What most travelers do not realize is that surrendering an item at the checkpoint is not the end of the process. TSA transfers surrendered property to the state, which may then sell it through surplus auction sites. Knives, multi-tools, scissors, and household items confiscated at airports often end up listed for public purchase. The TSA itself makes no profit from these sales. Funds go to the US Department of the Treasury. But the larger point is that items lost at security are rarely recovered. They are gone permanently. Avoiding this outcome requires checking the TSA website before every trip. The What Can I Bring tool allows travelers to search any item and receive instant guidance on whether it can be packed in, carry-on, or checked baggage. The My TSA app offers the same functionality on mobile devices, and travelers with unusual items can reach out to Ask TSA through social media for personalized answers. Penalties for bringing prohibited items vary based on the type of item and whether aggravating factors are present. For firearms, fines range from $3,000 to over $10,000 for a loaded weapon. Explosive materials can trigger criminal referral. Even lower-level violations like oversized liquids or small knives rarely result in fines, but they do cause delays and stress. If this video helped you understand what TSA will confiscate, consider subscribing. We are working to grow this channel to help more travelers avoid mistakes and move through airports smarter. Drop a comment below and let us know which rules surprised you the most, or share your own story of having an item confiscated at security. Safe travels.